Hey, hey. Tobago updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, you know when we're here, we're having those really interesting conversations to kick off your morning. And this morning we started off with a very interesting conversation with the former police commissioner, Mr. Gary Griffith. And as we continue getting into those conversations, this morning I have two guests with me and quite interesting conversation ahead because I was enlightened about an institution that existed here in Tobago that I'd never heard about. And I'm guessing that a number of persons around my age would probably have never heard about. And we're talking about the Tobago Institute of Education. And we have the Past Students Association with us here this morning, represented by Mrs. Juliana Henry King and Mr. Luster Trim. And guys, so we were talking a little bit before we started rolling about the importance of succession planning and why it's so important to raise awareness for a number of these schools that are no longer in existence. And so I was a bit flabbergasted to find out that there was a high school even before I was born on the island that was called the Tobago Institute of Education, along with a number of other institutions that were before my time. But tell us a bit about the Tobago Institute of Education during that period and a little bit about about the institution. Tell us a little bit.
All right. Thank you so much for having us here this morning. The Tobago Institute of Education was a private secondary school. It started in the 1970s. The founder, the late Lionel P. Mitchell, he was a teacher. And because he was in the system at that time, he realized that there was a lot of challenges that came to the forefront regarding literacy, regarding remedial, regarding children not adapting to the system of education at the time. So they were getting lost in the whole shuffle. And he came upon it, I believe everything is impressed by God. It came upon him that he needed to make an outlet available for parents, for their children to access the foundational type of education that could take them anywhere in this world. It was a paying private secondary school because in those days in Tobago, there were not much secondary schools as we see now. And the parents had to pay for their children to continue on the academic level in terms of secondary school education. And what happened is not everybody at that time could have been placed in a secondary school, so they were deemed failed, quote unquote. It's not that they didn't pass, but there was no school to place them. So the secondary schools in those days, parents had to pay. But there were children whose parents still could not have afforded. And also, he had a scholarship program attached to that school where there are a lot of children had sporting abilities, but they could not go to a private secondary school that their parents could afford it. So he also had a scholarship program where he allowed parents to bring their children along with the understanding that they engage in the foundational academic preparations that he had in the school. And from there, some of them branched out to different secondary schools at that time.
Right, and you are the president of this Past Students Association, Mr. Trim. You are the vice president. Tell me what was the thought pattern behind forming this association, and when was it formed?
Well, the association was formed in 2016, to be exact. April of 2016, I was the 6th of April, I could remember clearly. There was a clarion call all along for us to get together because, the school has, since been not operating again, and we decided, well, look, to get some past students, get a list of names and do what we have to do. And we all met at the Esplanade, and it was real coincident that only 6 persons turned up. And on the 6th of April, 6 persons turned up. And from there, we got together, and I never knew Juliana before, never saw her, because I joined T.I.E in 1980, in 1977 and left in 1980 to join the army.
Okay.
So that was real coincidence. Juliana came there with a whole list of names. She was prepared.
Because what happened, let me interject. You know, when God wants to do something, he doesn't work with one person.
Right.
He touches. What happened is, I had loved that school so much. I left there when the school doors closed, when the principal fell ill and he could not continue. What happened is, I went there through a summer program, because there was a summer program, and I had failed the common entrance that year in 85, and I went to the summer program. And coming out of that summer program, I told my father I didn't want to go back to school. I wanted to stay here. And funny enough, the entrance to that school, the principal gave a test, which I didn't know what test was, just to have an idea where I'm at. And when I was finished the test and it was graded, he told me how much percentage I got, and was 95%. And he told me that was the exam that the government said I failed as common entrance.
Wow.
And again, it's because there was no school. So what happened is, I got this feeling that I needed for us to come together. So I started to write names of people I knew in the school. And I had that in my bag. And then Brother B, he was also one of the past students.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes, Derek Bradford. He was one of the past students. And on one of his morning program, he sent out a call about this whole idea of persons who went to the school and let's meet at the Esplanade. And when I heard it that particular morning, I went there. These where I met Mr. Trim as well. And there were other persons who came to that meeting, and I had a list in my hand. Because the thing about it is that this school made such significant strides on the national space in Tobago and by extension Trinidad and Tobago that people are not aware of. Sometimes this program will bring some awareness to persons who had forgotten that Mr. Mitchell made some impact upon the journey of their life. So that's why we are here today, because we want to continue the legacy of Mr. Lionel P. Mitchell through what he gave us.
Right. And is it that you guys are looking to bring together more of the past students to have them join the association, maybe make some sort of donation towards similar scholarships? Are you guys planning in the future to maybe develop some sort of remedial institution to do something a bit similar to what has been done with T.I.E in the past? Let us know, what is the vision for what you are trying to do?
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Mr. Chimmy will deal with the other aspects as it relates to part of what we want to do. But there's an existing association. There's a lot of people that came out after that common call that we didn't even know went to the school, that we see every day. Some of them taught their children, didn't even know what past students of the school. So we have a present membership that is attached to the T.I.E Past Students Association. What is happening? Why we are here chiefly today, because COVID came and it caused a lot of upsetting the operation. So we had to be dormant for a little while. And challenges came in the whole scheme of growing and progressing. So as it is now, I'm sitting in the seat as the president because the other president, he's no more the president of the association. But what we want to do while we are here is to let the people of Tobago, the people of Trinidad, the people who are viewers or listeners of this particular radio program, to know that if you went to T.I.E, the Tobago Institute of Education, we want you to come on board, because we have past students all over the world. And there is an association that has been founded internationally with those who are past students, and they are also working with us hand in hand. What is happening? What we want to do, as you rightfully said, we recognize that there's still a need for what T.I.E, the Tobago Institute of Education, offered then, even more now. COVID created a reality where some children got lost in the shuffle, educationally wise. It also exposed where there was some challenges there. So we really want to have a remedial arm to the Past Students Association. As I said, I went through a summer program, so we want to have a summer program, but not like what we hear happening now as summer programs. Our summer program will be chiefly treating with remedial issues. We also have the emergence of learning disabilities now. And it's not that they cannot learn, but the traditional way of teaching doesn't reach them. So we want to introduce that also to the whole scheme of what we want to offer. Again, there are parents who cannot afford and they need their children to strive. We even adopted the Lands for Me Primary School. That is our first pilot project. And the succession planning will work through them because the school closed in 1992. So there's no more past students coming out of it since then. But what we want to do is partner with NGOs, partner with past students, partner with other organizations.
Division of Education.
Even definitely Division of Education, because we want to have a conversation. We want to offer to those who cannot afford quality education. But we also want to not only offer education, because Mr. Lionel P. Mitchell was not just an educator, he was a businessman. He was a sportsman. So we want to have all those enshrined in the whole product of the T.I.E Past Students Association. You'll hear some more about the scholarship program.
All right, Mr. Trim, you want to elaborate a bit on what that is going to be?
Well, fortunately, I was one of the students who got a scholarship to sports. I was a lawn tennis player, and I started playing lawn tennis, and I got a scholarship. All I had to pay when the month comes was $20 to go to school. $20 to go to school. There's a lot of other guys that end up playing cricket for Trinidad and Tobago, play cricket for West Indies. That's here. Alson Daniel was one of the first scholarship winners. He was a cricketer. He played cricket at the highest level. There's also Clint York, Neil Skeet. He's a coach now with the division. And those are guys who came to school on that scholarship because, as we said, they deemed us as failure because we didn't get through the common entrance. But Mr. Xavier King is the vice principal of Signal Hill. 3 times he failed common entrance. 3 times. He's now the vice principal of Signal Hill. You have a lot of other people outside out there in foreign. You have Miss Sharon Fritz-Jones. She's an evangelist out there. She's with the NYPD, and she's doing great. There are a lot of other people out there who just doing what they have to do. But people come aboard, just come on board, and you'll get to know much more about. We offer all kind of help. We get schools from abroad that came down and look at students for scholarship and so forth. Yeah, so we really involved because we want to give back.
Right, so you guys are kind of creating a channel for scholarships. So you guys are not necessarily the ones giving the scholarships, but you are connecting
That's right,
students
because we believe in the whole idea of networking, because sometimes you may have a product in your hand for a particular reason, but you don't know how to get it there.
Yeah.
And we want to create the bridge through what we want to offer, because we really have quality, quote unquote, they used to call us dropouts. We have quality dropouts out there who making strides. And we want people now who have children who may find themselves being labeled as dropout because they themselves are burnt out, tired, frustrated, don't know what to do. We want to partner with the Division of Education. We want to partner with other private learning institutions so that we can bring all what we have, come together and really offer a product where education is concerned to empower our young people right now. So that's why the succession plan is important, because once person buy into what we are about, those who are at the age where they can continue what we are about is what we are clamoring for as well.
All right. So as we close off, make your final call. Do you have a contact number that people can contact you on to get in contact with the Past Students Association or the Tobago Institute of Education? How can people connect with you? Past students, is there a Facebook page? Let people know how to get connected.
Okay, so what is happening is we are now embarking on planting our feet, and presently our contact numbers will be my number, 363-7333, Mr. Trim's number,
684-3655.
We are the part of the executive. Once they contact our numbers, we would invite them to a meeting, and then we invite them to the membership. Because there are persons who were on board, COVID came, challenges came, and we want them to come back on board. Also, as it relates to Facebook page, we are now rebranding our product So all of that is presently in the making.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me this morning and letting Tobagonians know, letting young persons know that there was indeed a Tobago Institute of Education here on the island that catered for those individuals who did not pass the common entrance and kind of acted as a lifeline to bring them in through sports, education, and through, I'm guessing, a number of other activities that would have stimulated growth and helped to...
He was really like a parent, because he gave us some tools that has not left us even up to this very day. He taught us life skills. You know, one of the things he always said to me, because at that time as a young woman, you know, you're trying to find your way. And I remember he said to me, he said, when you're choosing someone in your life, never choose someone that is too above you or too beneath you, because they would stunt you.
Excellent. And that's a great way to close off our interview this morning. Guys, we're going to a quick break and we'll have our next guest right after. See you soon.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.